All right, as people start to file in, we'll give it another minute or so and then get started. I do just want to say, for anyone that is attending or listening after the fact, obviously this webinar is recorded. So anybody that did register for it will get access to the recording, as well as we'll make it available on the Prism PPM site. We seem to have a good number here, so we're gonna get it started with just a quick round of introductions. But welcome everybody to the product recap webinar. This is going to go over a lot of stuff that's come out over the last 5 or 6 months, particularly stuff in the last 3 or 4 months. If you've been paying attention to a lot of the releases, there's been a lot of really cool development in the Prism software, and we're excited to share it all for you. So just a quick round of introductions. My name is Ty Masters. I manage product marketing here at Prism PPM. I'm going to be your host, just to kind of get us started, set the tone, do a little housekeeping, and then also handle Q&A at the end. But the majority of this recap webinar is going to be run by Sylvia Lee. Sylvia's been closely involved in shaping several of the user experience and workflow improvements that you're going to see today. And then, of course, our head of product, Monika Arntz. Monika leads product and has been driving strategic planning around reporting, analytics, and of course the broader modernization roadmap. So just a little bit over what we're covering. We'll go to the next slide here. So we call this our product framework, and this may be familiar to some of you. You may have seen it at different points, but I think it's worth calling out here. This is an approach we take whenever we evaluate what we want to put in our product, how we approach just kind of portfolio project management in general. And we have these 4 kind of key pillars that we want to make sure things are in alignment with. And the first one of those is alignment. And that's making sure, both from an individual stakeholder perspective, that your teams are aligned with one another, your executive vision, your actual project management office, and then the people doing the execution piece are all aligned. You want to make sure that your solutions and your systems are aligned, so the executive arm or the execution arm is aligned with the strategic piece, and that your data is aligned as well. So you got to make sure that everything is coordinated and aligned well, and that takes us into our next one, which is leverage. How is this software helping you to work faster, do better workflows, better processes, and at the end of the day with less friction? So how are you leveraging these product improvements? And then we also want to deliver insight. So being able to take this data that is in your PPM software and make things that are both actionable from a high-level decision-making standpoint, as well as from a project management standpoint. And then finally, at the end of the day, we want to make sure that the PMO is empowered to be kind of the strategic, critical asset in an organization. And so we want to give the PMO leaders and really any of the leaders in an organization access to a shared view, a way that they know that their information is accurate, up to date, and empowering better decisions at the end of the day. So with that kind of groundwork laid, I'm actually going to turn it over to Monika, and she's going to show you some cool stuff.
Thanks, Ty. The product team is actually really excited to share with you what's now available. We're going to start out with capabilities that we have recognized are already changing how many of our customers are interacting with data, their daily work, and just connecting additional delivery tools. First, we're going to talk about our reporting analytics enhancements that have happened in the last few months. We've added more embedded dashboards in Prism PPM. Teams can see portfolio, program, and project health faster and act earlier, allowing you to build empowerment and insight for the PMO. There are 5 new dashboards, budget versus actuals, which actually completes out our portfolio management suite. And we've also released the completed portfolio optimization suite, which includes dashboards for resource optimization, resource utilization, strategic prioritization, and program RAID. Together, we feel these dashboards help answer 4 critical questions. Do you have the people to deliver? Are you using them wisely? Are you funding the right work? And then just what risks and issues potentially threaten your programs. So let's take a look at our new embedded dashboards. I'll switch over to that. As always, when you're in our Prism PPM application, the reporting analytics button is at the top. When you click on it, it loads our dashboard, home dashboard. And as you see, there are the many new dashboards available here. So we're going to take a look at the resource optimization dashboard today. The main goal of this view really is to give leadership an immediate, clear picture of the overall capacity versus the actual forecasted demand. When you're reviewing this dashboard, there's a note that at the top, we've been adding these information bubbles. And when you actually click on the information, it will open up directly to the Knowledge Center. We've been including these new understanding the dashboards. And as you go through, it talks about each of the different visuals and what they do, some of the calculation metrics behind them. And as you can see, we have them all for the optimization dashboard suite completed, and we're slowly adding them in for the previous dashboard suites we had completed. And as we add new dashboards, they will also be getting these understandings, just so that there's a clear understanding of what you're looking at, how to use it until you get more comfortable with those dashboards. Moving back to the dashboard, you can note that if you look at the top row up here, our primary health metric in this particular view of the capacity utilization gauge. Right now, it sits at about 19 or 18% as of today, total allocation across our 30,000 total forecasted hours. And then this would transfer into a FTE forecast of about 7 people out of our active 45 team members. And if you keep a close eye on the management overhead, you can see that we currently have 11 project managers, which puts us at about a 1-to-5 ratio of PMs to projects. Moving down to our capacity trend, which is this left visual here. This is a multi-line area chart track. If you see them rolling over the months, it highlights the colors, the blue, the red, and the green. The green solid line represents the theoretical max capacity on weekdays, and the red dashed line shows the available capacity after you back out all of the non-working time like holidays or approved leave. And then that blue filled area represents the actual forecast demand. So we find this chart is incredibly useful because the gaps visually surface whether your upcoming pipeline is getting too close to or exceeding your realistic operational limits. It can ensure that you aren't accidentally over-promising based on just headcount numbers alone. In the right-hand side, the dashboard highlights the risk due to over-allocation. This table flags exact project and role intersections, kind of where demand is exceeding supply. So it will calculate an over-allocation score based on how many future calendar months that specific role is projected to exceed 100% utilization. And our scores are pretty low right now at 0s and to 7. Below that, we have a role allocation bubble chart on the bottom left, which lets you look at the next 90 days. And you compare this with that capacity summary table on the right, you can quickly notice if any roles are hitting like a red zone, it would indicate that they have negative remaining capacity, meaning that we have more hours forecasted than actual people available. And from the at-risk table up here, if you were to right-click on one of the projects, you can actually drill through, and you could drill through to the project allocation, which opens up another visualization heat map and allows you to get even more details. If you can do it by look at it yearly, or you can look at it by month, or weekly, allowing you to get even more information about the actual specific project and the roles and proficiencies and who's doing what and who's over allocated or under allocated. Next up, I wanted to look at one of the other dashboards. Won't go through all of them, but the program RAID. So this view serves as a centralized command center for tracking risk management and project governance. It really aggregates all of your risk actions, issues, and decisions and change requests into a view, into a single view. So leadership can instantly see where delivery blockers are potentially hiding. At the very top, you can isolate specific categories, like looking at only risk or open decisions. And that also we have, that's up here in the filters. You can limit it to risk, actions, issues, decisions. I'll just leave it as everything for right now. And on the left, the priority versus status matrix. It gives immediate cross-tabulation of the items. For instance, if you see a higher concentration in the high priority and in progress, or the high priority and open, the color gets darker. So as the priority gets higher and the more projects are in those statuses, the color will change based on that. Moving into the visual for the donut, the open items by priority. Again, this is just a high level of where is our unresolved risk really concentrated? Is it more concentrated in high risk, medium, or low risk projects in our programs? And then in the log items per program, you can see the stacked bar chart, and this can be an incredibly powerful tool if you wanted to compare program health side by side. So the bars, the green means that items are on track or completed on time. Red, the visually flags late items where a due date has been passed within those programs. And if you have gray happening, then that would indicate that there's some data hygiene issues potentially to go look at, and that data is missing for that program. And if you're to hover over you can actually filter the whole entire visualizations by clicking on it. If you click again, it will unfilter. And if you right click, you can also drill through to additional reports like the RAID details. Now I'll go to that in a second, right after I talk about the log item table timeline. So we have the log item timeline, and this one tracks your weekly operational cadence kind of across the critical data points. The orange is going to look at your intake rate of new issues being opened versus the red line showing how much scheduled demand meeting items are due that week for like risk or actions or decisions. And then the green line tracks actual throughput or completion rate of those log items. What you're looking for here are widening gaps. So if the red demand line is constantly climbing above the green, it's an early warning sign that the program is building unsustainable backlog, or teams are falling behind, or you potentially have a higher number of risks that you would want to go and dive deeper into. Again, back to that log item details, or you can drill through and look at the RAID details. So this is really a great ledger option to be able to look at, those selected items that were in red and get a good table view of reading out, what's the exact descriptions, the contingency plans, ownership for those specific blockers. And in short, that dashboard really helps ensure that there's not surprises from project delays, highlighting really precisely which programs are under delivery pressure, and it hopefully helps you to reallocate resources before a risk actually turns into any project failure. So the next new stuff that we would like to share with you is focusing on the My Home. As a reminder, This redesign was really meant to help create a modern, actionable hub where you can start your day with a clear view of work status and next actions. The way we like to think about the new My Home is it's not just a dashboard for one person, but really the control center that will be shaping how you manage and action projects and data for users. And we're continuing to build on this. So what's really new kind of includes some more role-aware widgets, redesigned additional tables, updated filters for the widgets, and just that this new experience we're hoping centralizes what you need in one place and lets you actually customize the layout around the work that matters most to you. And just to remind you that, again, it's customizable, and you can, whatever layout you pick is the layout that is persistent for you, and it looks different for everyone. So we'll go back to My Home. And this is the My Home view. Again, we're talking about how you can customize the view on the bottom left. If you click on Customize View, you see your widgets. And to talk about the widgets just a little bit, in the top left, there are 6 little dots that lets you grab and drag, so you can switch your location of your widgets. There's a trash can if you want to remove a widget. And if you would like to add additional widgets, you can put the plus sign on the right and select from the list of drop downs if you wanted to add one. And then you would click it, say select those widgets, and it would add it to the layout. You can also change the size. So if you wanted to make this a 3x1, it would move it into the next available space. I'll make it back to the same size so it fits. And then at the top, you would say Save View. One of the features we wanted to show that's newer, not sure if everyone knows about it, on the workload widget is if you're in the top right, you click on the ellipsis and you can select or unselect different widget tables available within this table. And if you have My Open Assignments selected and you go to My Open Assignments, you'll actually be able to enter time directly from here. If you do not see the enter time on the table, if you go to the far right again, there's an ellipsis and you can select enter time. You can also change the layout of this table if you just don't want to see all of those. And there's also filter options and sorting options available for all of the majority of the columns on all of the tables within the widget, and same for other tables on I'll show below. But if I just wanted to enter time here for the cloud migration, I just click on it. I can say how many hours I've worked today. I can add some notes. I could even close it out and sell it save. And then I can also go to my timesheet and go directly to that and see it. And it will load here. Okay, and I wanted to show that we have a new project timelines. So the project timelines, as you can see, is available here. We added a new filtration option to the majority of the widgets. So you can sort, many of them filter down to projects by resources. You can look at just certain life cycle stages, and you can change the dates that you want to look at, and you would apply those filters. And so if I just picked like a couple of them and I say apply filters, it'll refilter again. It'll tell me I want to see what active filters I have. I could see what those are, or I can close it and I can just hit the little red filtration button and it'll clear it back to the original reset. In some of them with dates, we can look at it by weeks, days, or months. That filter is on the bottom right of the tables with dates. We also have project timeline summaries. So if you don't want to see it in a visualization, you can see the actual data fields, and you can sort and filter again by project titles, lifecycle, available fields that are in the tables. We also have hours summary table. Again, many of these tables are also visuals. So if you prefer not to see the table data and you want to see the chart visual, that is available as well as an option. And we also have, again, the orange underlines mean that you can go directly to a link. So if you were to click on it, it would open up that project. It'll take you straight to it. And if you are back on the home page, I'll take you back home. And I just kind of showcasing that we have a lot more widgets available that you can get details. Again, tooltips if you mouse over all of them. Again, there's additional filters, so you can filter them. If there's a scroll bar, you can scroll across and see more data. I will now be passing this over to Sylvia to talk about the other exciting features that we have.
Thank you, Monica. Hello, everyone. I will be covering 2 of our new features. There we go on the screen. The first one is our new Jira 2.0 integration. This is a rebuilt integration that connects your Jira cloud to Prism PPM. This is what we consider the inform layer. It is a one-way sync from Jira to Prism so that your Jira issues populate within your selected project plan. And the Jira data is updated in near real time and remains the source of truth within Prism. The benefits of this is that the integration transforms your Jira data into project data, enabling your organization to execute project and portfolio management. And it also allows your teams to stay within the systems that they're most comfortable in. So a lot of engineers prefer to stay within their Jira and Jira boards so they can remain doing that and enter their time, and it will be captured and pushed over to your Jira project. So let's go over and see this feature. Let's see. I'm going to slide my screen right in. So for Jira, we do have a full set of Knowledge Center articles available. It does require your admin to set it up, the initial integration. And after that initial integration is completed, then your project managers can go within their projects and sync to Jira. So here's an example of a project. They can just select the Jira Sync 2.0 from the dropdown. And when they do that, they have the option to select it in 2 different ways. The first way is that they can pull up an existing Jira project. The connection will pull all your Jira projects over so they can select it. And the other way is to use the JQL string. So Jira has what they call the Jira query language. So we use the exact same query string or JQL language in Jira. If that is applied within here, then it will pull those specific Jira issues into Prism. Now here is a project that has the Jira synced. So you can see that the issues that are in Prism that are Jira synced will have a little blue icon. And then as well as the person who is currently assigned will hold all the remaining hours for that task, plus the actual hours that they have inputted within Jira. So if, say, Sophia is in Jira and they log 3 hours, those hours will come over and populate within here. It mimics whatever is entered within the Jira work log. So that is our Jira integration. Note, this is for business tier. Next, I will go over our next integration, or excuse me, our next feature, which is our AI. We're super excited about this. The AI chat, the goal is to save you time and surface answers faster. The AI chatbot is available from the new My Home Page, and this product is, again, available for business tier only. If you are interested, after this demo, please reach out to your support. To continue the conversation. And let me show you how the bot works, the AI chat. So here, to access it, we know we have the home page that everyone is very familiar with, but to actually access it, you need to go to the new home page right here and click this icon. And here's the chatbot. It can be expanded so that you can see more of it. It is accessible through mobile. You can begin a new chat here. You have memories here that basically you can save preferences. You can change your language preferences. You can also do things like enter your tone and style, role context, and display preferences. So lots of things to options to customize. We also have the ability to see your chat history. So you can see all your chats from today, the whole entire history, or just the last 7 days. And when you initially open the bot, what you will see is some prompts here. So the information that is accessible with the AI chatbot is tied to your role and your data permission. So as an example, if you're a team member, you would only be able to access the team, your task, and your team info that you can normally interact if you were to log in. Some of the features that are in here is it has an insight report. So this is what it is. This is the insight report right here. I'm just going to fire it off so you can see. So the insight report gives you like a executive summary of all the projects and portfolios that you have access to. It provides a portfolio snapshot, financial exposure, delivery confidence, and a number of other items, including a sentiment analysis. Sentiment analysis is based on comments left on projects and tasks. So I'll just let this finish so that you guys can see everything that the insight report would provide. Again, depending on your role, the insight report will look a little different. And at the end of the output, there is always prompts for next steps. And then one of the other skills that our AI has is the ability to create projects as well as work plans and suggest a team. I already went ahead and created one. It does, I didn't want to expend too much time for us waiting for this. So you can see that I've asked it to create a new project and the name of the project, and it created one based on my project template for my organization. It will ask if there are required fields in your project template, then it will ask you to fill that out. You can see there's a number of next steps that it suggests. I went ahead and asked it to create a work plan. It went ahead and did that. Now, before the AI writes or creates anything, it will ask for approval first. It will give you a dialogue proposing what it's going to do or displaying what it will do, and then you can approve it. And then on this one, the very last, or the next step is to ask it to recommend a team. And I'm going to go ahead and click on that. And this is what we are referring to as our winning teams. And what it will do is it will scan the resources and propose two options, one based on best skill fit and one based on most available. If I want to implement one of these teams on that project, I can go ahead and select it, click on it, and then here's that approve, deny that I was mentioning earlier. We'll go ahead and approve this. These are just some of the skills that the AI can do. We have a full KC describing everything that it can do at this point, and we are continuing to add additional skills to the AI. Right here. So I strongly encourage everyone to come here and review this article. You can add comments, you can do time entry, you can create logs, items, create risk items, update statuses, or add project statuses. So we're super excited about this, and we encourage you to check that article because we will be adding more skills to the AI as we continue. Ty, over to you.
Yeah, awesome. Thank you very much, Sylvia. So, as we talk about some of the exciting stuff that we've created, and this is obviously not everything that has come out of development, definitely encourage people, if you are not paying attention to or receiving the release emails or the release notes that get emailed out, feel free to drop a mention in the questions here and let us know, or reach out to support and they'd be happy to help make sure that we're getting those emails to you. That'll let everybody know what's coming in each release. But those were a lot of the highlights. And now just looking ahead, some things that we do want to touch on, or at least some big things that you can look forward to, are going to include like the Azure DevOps integration. So this is similar to the Jira integration. This is aimed at bringing those Azure DevOps boards and all of that data into Prism PPM through a one-way sync. We're also looking at continuing to do some work on the AI. There's a lot of exciting stuff that's coming out now, so including, there will be like an audit log or an admin log where you can see what queries for your organization are being pushed through the AI, kind of see how that usage is, and some other really cool stuff coming in the AI. So keep an eye out for that. We'll continue to do some enhancements to reporting and analytics so that we can keep pushing towards stronger embedded insights and a modern kind of BI experience. We'll also have things like the global search, the admin and license management pages, which are focused on centralizing your seat visibility, managing your users, tracking any overages, and certain workflows like that. The resource management page is going to be redesigned completely around capacity first views, utilization, and hopefully will improve some of the planning workflows, as well as we're doing the new project page. So it'll get a modernization as well. That'll just kind of bring it into the modern redesign that we've been doing to the product. It'll also have kind of widget-based and tabbed experiences in there. Again, these are not all the things that we are working on, or it's not a completely comprehensive list. There's some other cool stuff that'll be coming as well. But these are some highlights for you to look forward to. And again, if you have any questions, feel free to reach out and we'll be happy to answer those. And speaking of questions, I have seen some come through the question panel already, but feel free, if you have any at the moment, to start typing those in. And we'll do a quick Q&A here for Monika and Sylvia. The first one that I see is a question around the My Projects widget or section in the home page. And this person is asking, why does that section show all the projects in the organization, even ones that they are not assigned to?
Great question, and I have good news along those lines too. So it's completely role-based. If you happen to be an admin, you're going to see all projects currently. but we are actively working through adding a filter page completely to the new My Home experience, which then would actually limit it to, you could see the ones that are assigned specifically to you, looking at it from one of the resources that you have access to. So someone that actually reports to you. If you're an admin, it would be to filter it to any resource. Sylvia, double check me. Am I missing another filter on there? I think you can filter the whole page by life cycles and or a date frame. And I think that was all of them. But that's coming very, very soon here. We're working through all of those details right now. Make that page much more actionable and easier based on who you are, and that you don't see everything for everyone if you're more like an admin or a resource manager. We heard you. We're making that fix.
Awesome. And another question about the My Home page. This one is the new My Home page replacing the old one immediately?
Not right now. It is, we want to finish making sure we, like I said, get that filter in there. And as we're going to work towards, finishing up that resource management page and then the project page. As that time happens, we're going to keep an eye on it, and we'll slowly move away from the legacy app and move towards the new My Home.
Awesome. This one's around resource management. So it says, how can my resource managers customize the resources dashboard to show just those people that report to them?
That's a good question. Sylvia, maybe you have an answer for it, but let me look.
Are we talking about the current, the new My Home or the legacy?
I think it's the new My Home, yes.
Oh, at this time, the new My Home is primarily focused on the projects that you have access to. So if you're looking to see exactly a specific person, that is one of the new filters that are coming, that will be built.
Okay.
All right. And then we have a question about the AI. So it says, what does the AI do today versus what, can you give any insight into what's coming?
Yes. In addition to what it can do today, we will be fine-tuning some of its skills, like in terms of sentiment analysis, and also in terms of the, the winning teams. Right now, it's at a very foundational level where we're just taking the core data metrics, like do they fit the skills? Do they have the capacity? In the future, we will be considering things like how they work with others, like which groups of individual work really well together. Also, their finish rate, and their sentiments, what they share in the comments to identify teams that would best fit the project.
Awesome. This next question is kind of around the UI UX, and the page redo changes. So this was saying, will the rest of the pages within Prism receive updated layouts similar to the My Home page, for example, a project homepage?
Definitely.
Definitely. We're moving towards the cleaner look, more modernization. You'll definitely see that with like the new global search that we're building out and layering in. So.
Another question around kind of dashboards. Are we able to customize the project summary dashboard to filter out completed projects?
The project summary should have I believe there is a filter on that one, but I will open and double check for you. You can ask another question while I'm looking, and I'll respond to it in a second.
Okay. And this question is around work plans. So this is saying that work plans with large quantities of deliverables or tasks sometimes have had some sluggish performance. Will the updates to some of these pages be addressing some of the performance issues there?
Yes, absolutely. That's one of the main passes that we, doesn't get pushed out unless it's doing better performance. That's part of the modernization plan we have. And back to the last question, yes, you can filter out closed projects.
Perfect. Awesome. And then this question is about reporting as well. How should customers be thinking about the changes to reporting?
So I wish I could talk to that person directly. So are they talking about the previous reporting to the new, or the reporting in, maybe they'll add more to their question, or reporting it, like the changes, additional changes that are coming with reporting that we have currently, the new enhancements?
I think it's talking about the enhancements being made, the new report, as new reports are coming out.
Okay, so some of the enhancements that are coming specifically for embedded analytics, we're working towards, there's some capabilities around some personalizations, and also the ability to have multiple different embedded dashboards. That's been a high request, so we're working on how to make that possible so that you could switch between either your own dashboard that you created, or out of the box, if you have that that ability to see those embedded analytics dashboards. Also, you can do it company-wide versus just like a single person. Also, we're looking at ways to be able to add additional users if you're on the gateway plan, to do it self-service, so you don't have to continue to submit support requests to have additional users added, so that you don't have to wait for that also. And also some other enhancements we're just looking at performance-wise to like speed it up. I know that we had a training session, I believe it was last week, Ty, and there's the ability, you know, if people are looking for more training sessions, maybe we have some more sessions like that to go like to the next level. So just making sure that we're offering as much as we can and helping customers as much as possible on how to use and utilize and get the most value from the reporting and analytics product.
Awesome. Well, that is all the questions we have so far. If you continue to have more questions, feel free to reach out. But in the meantime, if we want to look ahead and kind of talk about how you can stay up to date with what's going on in Prism, or continue to get kind of some more support, more learnings, I'm glad Monika just mentioned the training session we did last week. That one was over the reporting and analytics and the Power BI. That recording is available if anybody does want to go and read and watch that session if you weren't there live. We're going to continue to have those training sessions. I believe right now a cadence that we're looking for is maybe every other month. So keep an eye out for any information around the one we'll probably be doing in August. And I'm going to go ahead and do a little spoiler and say I think a lot of it's going to be around AI, just because we have so much exciting stuff there to show, and by then there will be even more really cool things that we can show off in the AI for Prism. Product office hours will continue to be a thing for our customers. We also have a newsletter. If you haven't signed up for it already, the newsletter is getting also a bit of a UI UX overhaul, and there will be a lot more information coming out in that one, and that'll be a monthly newsletter that will also contain information about customer product training sessions that we'll continue to do, and you'll be able to register through there. So definitely feel free to subscribe to the newsletter so you can get that information. Please follow us on LinkedIn if you're not already. There might be some cool stuff that you can see there. And if you just hang around for another minute or two after we close this out, there will be just a quick 2 or 3 question survey. And we'd really appreciate any feedback that we can get through there. So thank you all for coming, and keep an eye out for some more ways that you can stay in touch with the product.